Well, if you had a restless night's sleep last night, you're probably not alone. Australia was officially the hottest country in the world yesterday, with some places recording up to 47 degrees. But we're not out of the woods yet, with heatwave conditions set to push on today, particularly across the east coast. And with a dangerous mix of hot, dry and windy weather, experts are flagging the risk of high fire dangers. Let's bring in 7 News meteorologist Tony Auden now, who's in Brisbane with the very latest. Morning, Tony. OK, so after scorching conditions over the southern states yesterday, the heat is on the move. Which areas will see the worst of it today?
Good morning, Mon. Well, we've seen that cooler change hit Adelaide, Melbourne and Hobart, and the heat is now moving east straight towards Sydney. Now we can see the temperature map here, this dome of hot air stretching down from the tropics through New South Wales and straight towards Sydney. You'll see a little bubble of brown here showing temperatures pushing into the 40s, especially for western parts of Sydney. And as we move into the Sydney forecast here, you'll see it's not too bad on the coast. We could even see some 29s around Bondi, Mona Vale, thanks to cooling sea breezes. But as soon as you go out west, those temperatures really start climbing up to 42 degrees around Penrith and Richmond. Now, you mentioned the fire dangers earlier. Thankfully, we do have some lush vegetation after recent rain in New South Wales. So we're looking at moderate to high dangers in New South Wales. Still some lingering extreme dangers for the Wimmera in Victoria, but thankfully that cool change has arrived there. So for now, it's all eyes on those temperatures around Sydney today, Mon.
Yeah, so when is a cool change expected for Sydney?
Well, we won't have to wait too long. There is a cool wind change hurrying up the New South Wales coast as we speak. It's forecast to reach Sydney somewhere around 6 p.m. We could see some decent wind gusts up about 60 or 70 k's an hour on the beaches as it moves through. And as we move on to the rainfall map here, it won't look like much, but we can actually potentially see a couple of storms, a little dots here, but potentially a few storms around the area on that wind change later today. Now, looking ahead, the cooler change will be definitely felt into tomorrow, onto the 7-day forecast, back to the mid-20s for Western Sydney, but it won't take long to heat up again, mid to high 30s again towards next weekend. It doesn't take too long to heat up at this time of year, Mon.
No, it certainly doesn't. OK, now, Murder, what anyone is doing in their homes at the moment, you'll want to listen to this, the Christmas Day forecast. You've got it for us. How's it looking at this point, Tony?
Well, it's looking relatively settled and not too hot at the moment. So we're expecting a couple of cooler changes to move through down south, mostly sunny skies, tops in the early 30s or high 20s around Brisbane, Sydney. A little bit cooler around Melbourne, probably mid-20s. Might get a shower around Hobart, mostly sunny and also not too hot in Adelaide. Now, I've been some scorches in Adelaide as well. And Perth, probably likely very hot on Christmas Eve and cooling back around 30 degrees on Christmas Day. So all systems go for a big Christmas lunch and some afternoon backyard cricket, Mon.
Yeah, if you could just make sure there's no rain around my house, that'd be great.
I'll try my best.
Thanks very much, Tony.